How are you guys doing today? My name is Brody Sackowitz here on the Spinning Out podcast. This is a new podcast slash YouTube channel that I started up literally yesterday. It was an idea of mine. I was going to take my NASCAR knowledge and give it out to you guys because there's not very many people in the world that really know much about NASCAR, so I'm going to tell you guys about it. And I'm going to cover the previous race, and I'm going to also give some predictions for the next week's race that it's going to be on. And without further ado, let's get started. So, the All-Star Race drama, we had a lot of it. This week. We had Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, the wreck between Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott. Without further ado, let's get started. So, that wreck that happened with Kyle Busch, he was dominating the beginning of the All-Star Race. Led every single lap until he had a flat tire coming out of turn 4, and he got to start finish line. He started wiggling his car a little bit. We knew he had a flat. Larry Mack had another one of his famous calls. Kyle Busch's tire went down. Ross Chastain came flying to try and avoid it and clipped Kyle Busch in the left rear, and he almost flipped over. His car went like this. Car almost flipped over. Kyle Busch's car got tore up. Chastain was tore up, and then Chastain went up the track and clipped Chase Elliott and took him out of the All-Star race as well. And then before that, Kyle Larson hit the wall. So 2 of the previous All-Star race winners were already out of the race and not even through stage 2 of the race. It was a very interesting start to the All-Star race. We had a lot of big-name contenders get out, and no one really knew in the broadcast. All the favorites were gone. All those 4 drivers that were listed, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain, were the 4 favorites going into that race, and they were all crashed out. Let's talk about the end of the All-Star race. So, with Ryan Blaney's window net coming down, Before the race almost ended, there was a Ricky Stenhouse smacked the wall and turn 4, bringing out the caution before Ryan Blaney crossed the start-finish line. Now that the new All-Star race rule that was implemented, the race had to end under a green flag condition, which in the regular season, when they're not racing in the All-Star race, it has to end once you take the final lap. The next flag ends the race, green or caution, or red if it's a big enough wreck. That was interesting for me. I did not know that rule was implemented until obviously that happened in the All-Star race. I didn't know that it had to end under a green flag condition. I was super confused when all the picker guys were celebrating, and then Ryan Blaney's crew chief Jonathan Hassler told everyone to come back and say, "Hey, we got still a little bit more of racing left." I was still very confused on that. My thing with that is, in my opinion, Ryan Blaney could have been black flagged for it, because his window net wasn't properly on at all. He had to do some maneuvers. You saw the camera that was on him throughout the race that he was trying to put his window net back into a safe spot, and he wasn't doing it. It just wasn't working. They always say, in the broadcast, they said the strongest guy on their pit crew has to put the window net up and it's on secure. Well, his window net came down, and Ryan Blaney was trying to maneuver it from inside the car. He was trying to maintain pace car speed behind the pace car, because if you don't maintain pace car speed, you drop to the back of the field. He was trying to maintain pace car speed and keep his window net on, and he did a pretty good job of it. He maintained pace car speed, and he found a way to put his window net on. Now, if he didn't put his window net on, he could have been black flagged and sent to the back of the field and had to have fixed it. Now, at the end of the race, Denny Hamlin who finished second behind Ryan Blaney, interviewed with Bob Pockrass and voiced his frustration after the race, saying that Ryan Blaney should have won the race, that he didn't agree with the rule, that the race had to end under a green flag condition, that the race should have just been over. Ryan Blaney was literally like 20 feet away from winning the race. And he voiced his frustration with Bob Pockrass, saying that was a safety issue, and that if Denny Hamlin was even close to Ryan Blaney, he could have wrecked him, and then Ryan Blaney could have got seriously hurt because his window net wasn't on properly at all. It was on, and it was good enough for NASCAR for them to allow him to finish the race, but it was not on how it's supposed to be. We're going to get into another topic here. Junior Motorsports is still eyeing to make an appearance in Cup for next year. Everyone thought last year that, before Trackhouse came on with Pitbull, Ross Chastain, and Daniel Suarez, that Junior Motorsports could be the next team to come into NASCAR. Now, with my opinion, I think Junior Motorsports could be potentially ready to make their Cup debut next year. They have a bunch of young guys in that. They have a bunch of young guys coming up through the K&N Pro Series, and they got a good squad in the Xfinity Series. Noah Gregson's getting a lot of time right now with Kaulig in the number 16 car, and he's been racing for, I think, Brendan Gaughan's team in the 62 car as well. Saw him at Talladega. I think that team could be potentially ready to go for next year. Junior Motorsports has dominated the Xfinity Series ever since they came in. They've been very solid. I shouldn't say dominated. They've been very solid throughout their tenure in the Xfinity Series, and I think they're ready to make the next leap. I think it's about time Junior gets into the Cup Series. Drop your guys' comments down below who you guys think could be the first driver to race for Junior Motorsports in the Cup Series. I think it could be Noah Gragson. I think that'd be a perfect fit just to get him started into the Cup Series next year. I think Noah Gragson would be the guy. So we have Trackhouse. We're going to bring it back to Trackhouse for a minute. Trackhouse is adding a third car. Yes, they are adding a third car now with the emergence of Ross Chastain this year winning 2 races already. It's been consistent every single week. Doesn't matter what track it is, what type of track they're on. He's always up front. Dude's been lighting it up this year. So is Daniel Suarez. Even though his spot in the point standings as a chauffeur, he's ran significantly better than last year. He was struggling last year. The performances went up on him this year. He's been contending for wins. He almost won at Auto Club until Kyle Larson took it away. He had a solid run in the All-Star race. Trackhouse is definitely on the rise. Ross Chastain is definitely a Final Four driver, and I could see Daniel Suarez maybe stealing a win this year at some point. They were fast last week on the 1.5 miles, and we're going to another one next week. I could very well see. It would not surprise me if Daniel Suarez won a race this year. That's it. Yeah, they're adding a third car. I don't know who it's going to be. This just came out, I think today or yesterday, that they're adding a third car. I'm not sure who it's going to be, and they said it's going to happen at some point this year, so I'm not sure if they're going to just do it like a road course race with maybe an F1 driver or like a road course ringer of some sort, but they're going to add a third car at some point. We're going to talk about Kyle Busch. We mentioned him earlier about the All-Star race, but Kyle Busch, his sponsor M&M's is not coming back for the 2023 season. That's been known since the start of the year. And he's voiced his frustration with him and JGR not getting a deal done. And Adam Stern, which is the Toyota Racing president, does not want to lose Kyle Busch at all. He's came out public and said, we do not want to lose Kyle Busch. It would be ashamed, be disappointed in themselves if they could not find a way to keep Kyle Busch. But there is a potential sponsor that is in the works right now, and this is per Adam Stern. JGR is set to be in advanced discussions with a major technology company for a 1-year deal for the number 18 car for next year, but an agreement has not been announced. This is good news. This is good news for Kyle Busch fans here. Kyle Busch is an icon in the sport. A lot of people like him, and a lot of people don't like him. You hear the boos in his introductions, and you hear the claps. He's known for the famous bow at the end of the race when he wins. He's a public figure in NASCAR, and I would hate to see him go because he brings a lot of energy to the sport, and he brings it every single week, no matter what track we're on, and he's always a character on and off the track. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments who could be that third Trackhouse car and who could be a potential ride for next year for Junior Motorsports. Drop that down in the comments. And like I said, this is a brand new channel of mine. Maybe these videos should only last like maybe 5-10 minutes. I'm just going to be covering the news from the previous week and the next week. This is brand new, so bear with me. We're gonna hopefully build this into something great, guys. I'm very excited. And just a little fun fact about me: I'm a college student. I go to the University of Toledo. I'm a supply chain major. Been a Dale Jr. fan growing up, as you guys can see right here. I always look forward to this one race every single year. But we're gonna build this into something special, guys. I can't wait to bring out the NASCAR new and latest drama for you guys. You guys have a good one.